Gooey Butter Cake is a St. Louis specialty. It can be found in bakeries all over the city. Now the cake, it's a cake layer at the very bottom, sometimes yeasted. On top of that is the goo, pudding, creamy filling. It's gorgeous, but it's hard to carry around in your hand. Enter Bryan, who's going to tell us all about a bar version that you tried.
That's right, I had to try this for myself, so I went to St. Louis, and I ended up at a place called Russell's on Macklin, where they do a bar cookie version of it. It's got a buttery shortbread crust, a nice layer of goo right in the middle, and a crisp meringue-like topping.
A little different, but I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, why don't we start with the shortbread crust.
Sounds good.
I have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of confectioner's sugar and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to mix that together. So to that we're going to add 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're just going to mix that until all the flour is moistened. Okay, now we can just dump that right into our 13 by 9 inch baking pan. I've lined this pan with a foil sling and greased it with vegetable oil spray.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll just push this into an even layer and gently pack it down. And once the crust is in a nice even layer, I'll use a dry measuring cup to kind of force it down a little bit tighter. So then we're just going to dock it with a fork about 20 times. This will just keep it from puffing up in the oven. Okay, so we'll just throw this into a 350-degree oven on the upper middle rack and let it go for about 20 minutes until it's light golden brown and very fragrant. After that, we'll let it cool on a wire rack until it comes to room temperature, which takes about 30 minutes. All right, we're ready to make the goo layer.
Goo.
Yes. So we have 8 ounces of cream cheese and 4 ounces or 1 stick of butter. Make sure that the butter and the cream cheese are room temperature and soft.
Okay.
So we're going to start this off on low speed, and while it's mixing, we're going to add 1 pound of confectioner's sugar, a little bit at a time, and let it go until the sugar is all moistened.
Okay.
Okay, all the sugar is moistened. I just want to scrape down the paddle on the sides of the bowl with a spatula. So we're going to let this go now on medium-high speed for about 2 minutes so we can whip air into it. Adding air to this batter is going to give it a nice little lift in the oven and create that crispy meringue topping that we want.
Okay, great.
All right, Bridget, you can see that we've whipped a fair amount of air into this.
That's gorgeous.
And again, I want to go ahead and scrape down the sides of the bowl and the paddle to make sure everything is getting mixed in. Then we're going to return the mixer to low speed. And while it's mixing, we're going to add 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. And you want to add the eggs one at a time and make sure each is incorporated before adding the next.
Okay.
In addition to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla and 1/4 teaspoon of table salt.
All right.
Okay, so the eggs and yolks and vanilla and salt are all fully incorporated. I just want to scrape down the bowl one more time. 90% of the recipe is scraping down the bowl. So.
But it does look very custardy.
Right.
Like a pudding.
So again, we're going to turn this thing to medium-high and let it go for 2 minutes to whip more air into it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you can see that we've incorporated even more air into it.
It looks like ice cream.
Yeah, it looks like frosting, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're ready to add our filling to our fully cooled crust.
Wow.
You can smell that vanilla, right?
I can smell the vanilla.
I'm going to switch to an offset spatula,
Okay.
which will help me get it into the corners a little bit easier. And then we're just going to smooth out the top a little bit.
All right. I keep saying wow because I really can't believe it.
We're just going to knock it on the counter a couple of times to get any air bubbles out. And then we're ready to bake it off.
Okay.
We're going to go back into the 350-degree oven, still on the upper middle rack, and we're going to let this go for about 30 minutes until it's golden brown on top, and the center is still a little bit jiggly, but the edges have set.
Sounds good. Oh yeah. Oh
Looks
my
nice,
gosh.
doesn't it?
It's all puffy.
Right, souffled like we said it would.
Mm-hmm.
We promised that it would.
I have to touch. Oh,
It's nice and crispy on
it
top.
is. It's like a meringue.
So we'll let it sit for about 3 hours until it comes down to room temperature, and it'll fall a little bit during that time. But once it's cool, we'll pull it out, cut, and eat. All right, it's been 3 hours. We're ready to remove the gooey butter cake bars from the pan.
It has sunk a wee bit.
Yes, a little bit. They lift very nicely out of the pan thanks to the foil sling. And then just to remove the foil from the bottom of the bars, I like to slide an offset spatula just between the foil and the bar.
That's why it was so important to spray it with vegetable oil spray.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. There's a ton of sugar in here. I don't know if you noticed.
No.
And then you want to pull away the foil?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, go.
There we go.
So we're going to cut this into 12 pieces. So that'll be once down the middle.
12 pieces.
6 for you.
Look at that gorgeous crust. I love that crackly. It's like ice. We're gonna fall through into gooey butter cake. Nice.
Okay. Then, what does this cake need? A little bit of powdered sugar on top. We bought a 2-pound bag. We might as well use it, you know? We'll just give it a couple of taps here.
Well, that is traditional for gooey butter cake, though.
Who are we to break tradition, right?
No, I don't want to break tradition.
Okay. You interested in a piece?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. Oh, I want to fall into this gooey butter cake.
Oh, look at this. Nice and sweet.
This cake is sweet on purpose.
Mm.
It's like cake and a little bit like candy with that meringue on top. Oh, pure vanilla. I like that you use cream cheese too because cream cheese has some salt in it.
Yeah.
And also a little bit tangy, so it's going to offset some of the sweetness. Oh my gosh. The crust is beautiful. That crisp bottom, that crust, beautiful and buttery, a little toffee. Mm-hmm. And then I love that cream cheese in the center.
Yeah, so do I.
And anything that produces a meringue topping is perfect.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Thank you, Bryan. Well, our take on a gooey butter cake, it starts with the crust. Press into a baking pan and bake until brown. Make a filling, beat it all till fluffy, spread into the crust and bake. Let cool, slice into bars, and serve. From Cook's Country, St. Louis Gooey Butter Cake Bars. And you can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with tastings, testings, and select episodes on our website, cookscountry.com. Whew, maybe only eat 2 or 3 pieces. Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.